Day to the clinic gave us no clear treatment plan or further instructions, and it was completely unclear what to do next. Surprisingly, already on the second day the dog was eating, drinking, and going to the bathroom, which was very encouraging. Sometimes her hind legs moved, and she reacted to touch and scratching, giving hope that she might be able to walk again. The dog needed constant care, at least watering, feeding, cleaning up after her, and sometimes washing her. She was very overweight, and it was impossible to turn her over alone. Her fur was fluffy, which made things even more difficult. Eventually, through one of the girls, the doctor said that the dog needed injections of 3 medications. I was the only one who knew how to give injections. The neighbor lived just a few steps away, but only I had the time to care for the dog. So my schedule now included caring for yet another animal, on top of my 4 dogs. The dog was prescribed 3 medications, which later turned out to be just vitamins. The doctor from the previous clinic inspired no trust at all, so we decided to contact another veterinarian and invite her to the house. Since transporting the dog was impossible, they'll say right away, I have nothing against veterinarians, but based on my experience, sometimes it feels like a special place is reserved for them somewhere up above. This veterinarian was a woman. Of course, she didn't arrive in the morning as agreed, but showed up late in the evening, citing her workload and ignoring our arrangements. She actively examined the dog and looked at the x-rays. As for the x-rays, I'll say in advance, I consulted about 6 doctors, and all of them gave different diagnoses. It was quite fascinating to observe. As a result of the second doctor's visit, once again there was no clarity, no precise treatment plan, and no understanding of what to do. So we decided to work with what we had, give the injections and observe, which turned out to be a mistake. Every day, with a serious look and strictly following all the recommendations, I gave the dog injections. In reality, it was about as effective as putting a plantain leaf on her. Besides treatment, there were everyday issues: what and how to feed the dog, where and on what she should lie, and how to care for her. Since I work with dogs and have 4 of my own, I understand these things well. But among the remaining 3 people, there were constant arguments and conflicts. I am not a fan of communicating or interacting with people, and once again, this situation confirmed my beliefs. I took full care of the dog, gave injections, washed her. The neighbors sometimes helped turn her over so she wouldn't develop pressure sores. One of the girls bought and brought medications and food. At first glance, everything seemed fine, but there was also a 4th person who was collecting funds for the dog's treatment. If something was needed, it had to be purchased through her, even though she had no direct involvement with the dog at all. And that's where the most interesting part began. 3 days after the accident, the dog's front leg began to swell severely. On the x-ray, the first doctor saw a crack but couldn't determine whether it was old or caused by the accident. The second doctor said the dog had a fracture but that nothing needed to be done. It would heal on its own. Out of habit from her previous life, the dog tried to get up, but I remind you, she was very overweight, had a broken spine, and her front leg was swelling so badly that it dangled like a sausage. It was all horrifying, and we once again called a veterinarian to the house, because something had to be done. We waited for the doctor all day, even though we had agreed on a morning visit. It was extremely exhausting, as there was no understanding of what was happening or whom to turn to for real help. The veterinarian said that we needed to wait for the swelling to go down, and only then apply a cast to the leg. To reduce the swelling faster, the dog needed a diuretic. We did everything she said, bought the pills and gave them to the dog. She went to the bathroom countless times a day, which meant washing her much more often. But I continued to do everything exactly as instructed. Your help is very important to us, as the treatment is quite expensive. The video includes the payment details so that you can support us. Huge thanks to everyone who decides to help.